On May 3rd, violence erupted after multiple tribal communities staged a protest in Chochanpur district in Manipur. The All Tribal Students Union in Manipur rallied against the High Court's decision to grant scheduled tribe status to the dominant Mai Tai tribal community. The Mai Tais make up about 53% of Manipur's total population and are situated primarily in the Imphal Valley. The protest led to clashes between the Mai Tai and mainly the Kuki tribe. Houses were torched with many injured and reportedly 13 people killed. Curfew was imposed in 8 out of 16 districts and the state announced an internet shutdown for 5 days. In the span of one night, the Indian Army had to evacuate approximately 7,000 people to safe houses and many fled Manipur in search of refuge. On the 22nd of May, a fresh incident of violence was reported in the state's capital, Imphal, where a mob torched down some abandoned houses. This is the second case of violence to come out of Manipur in less than 12 hours, with another case reported on the 21st of May. The ongoing ethnic violence in Manipur has led many to flee the state in search of safety and shelter. Just yesterday, there was a fresh case of violence in the state's capital, Imphal, where a mob torched down several houses. We are here today at a refugee camp in Delhi to hear the stories of these refugees whose future is now undetermined as ever.
I fled from Imphal city, capital city of Manipur. We have been staying there since 1980s. More than around 30 to 40 years we have stayed there. We have no place to go to village, countryside, because we have been residing to Imphal more than 30 years. So we have no village, but we should run for our lives. It's wonderful how in this century one of the capital city of Manipur, they burned all the 95% of the houses have been burned to ashes. My residence, my house is not burned, but how can I stay? It's very difficult to stay there also. I want to ask the government also, who wear the arambais? Are the arambais are competent person to hold the arms, guns, and torch the houses? We may settle here also, or another part of India,
Yeah.
which is very suitable for us.
He called me up and asked me to evacuate our house with the children and go to some safer place because animals are coming to attack. He told me that, but I even then I didn't believe it yet. And then as he asked me so frequently that I can't deny it anymore, so I went out to one of my bigger brother home because I was with the kids only and my husband was so worried for me. So we went there, and just after we left the house, everything got started. Just I left maybe after 10-15 minutes. I heard that our location was approached by the enemy. Whole night was sleepless night with gun sound and everything. Opportunity which we get, we need to look for the first opportunity to leave this Imphal city for our lives. So my husband was there. He couldn't come because all the roads were blocked, and I with my kids we look for this flight ticket. Though we don't have money, some people were kind enough to cut the ticket even for us. That is even we don't even have even those money to pay back right now the opportunity. So I was so grateful to them even to help me for that, buying the ticket for us, and even for reaching that airport. We can't go by ourselves. We need the army escort. So this army escort, they give us only one trip a day to the airport. So everyone was rushing for that trip. And at last we got the trip with those escort army. We went to the airport, and then we can fill out. One of my neighbor, he was a Meitei, he called me up and, auntie, your house was looted right now. I went and everything was a mess and they loot everything. They took everything and nothing was spared. Nothing was spared. So I was so I don't even have any emotion for that at that moment. I have lost my all my properties, my household, everything, and then I have no choice but to live in Fall. That's only my what I can do for my lives and my kids and my. Now, the main problem right now is that we can't have a future plan for our kids. Those who are still studying, I have 3 kids. One is in class 10, one is 6, and one is just prep. So that's because we don't know from where we'll get the money again. Because I'm a teacher, I'm a teacher in Manipur, but for this month even I didn't get even my salary for this month. So sad. That's so sad for me. And I can't even plan for my future. And it was just black, so black. But I'm so happy that I could stay here at least in this relief camp.
Somebody called us up and they asked us to leave the place we are living because they say it's not safe. But we are very reluctant because we are with kids. No, I said I don't want to leave. I don't think there won't be any problem. I was already cooking food and we haven't had our food. So they kept on calling. We have to leave. It's not safe. So suddenly we pack my kids' clothes. I didn't pack anything for me because I'm in a rush and I just go out to the home where that I with chapel.
Yeah.
So just leave the food that already cooked. I think it's still there. It will be all mold up now. So we went to a safer place. We went to the CRPF camp. There on broad daylight, just some meters away from the place where we were staying, the church was burned down, and the fire gets some of the houses just beside that church. It was broad daylight, and the sound was so much, so the kids was frightened. They were crying, and so I thought, I just want to get out from there because I'm afraid of the kid, that they might have some traumatized, be so much affected. So some kind hurt person, they book a ticket for us, so we have to wait 2 days for that. Some of my friends, they went to the airport to wait for their tickets for 3 days. They slept on the floor, but we are lucky enough, we got tickets for just in 2 days. So we went to the airport, the CRPF, they dropped us there, and it was a truck, very full, high one, that the armies were going also. On the fort, I think, actually my husband, he's also with us. And we had a niece who is going to nursing training just beside where we're staying. 18 of her friends. They kept on calling us, come and pick us up. We were so afraid, we were so frightened because they keep on banging at their gates. So I said, don't be afraid, just stay there. Don't do anything to. We can't go out. We can't come and pick you up. So they were crying and they were hiding beside their hostel, not inside the room, but outside under the bushes. Soon after that, that burning is calmed down, and my husband went to get them. And on the way, when they came back, they were caught, and he was beaten thrice in his head with stick. And he fell down, but some kind woman, they escort them away from that boys, no? So the angry boys, they were taken to some community halls, like a hall.
What is the plan now for the kids?
Yeah, we are trying some schools. Somebody help, like pastors and our community leaders here, help us to find schools, and we are hoping to get it free because we don't have anything. We just ran out with our homeware, no? We don't take out anything. So not even our certificates, not even the kids' documents. So
I apologize because I know how hard this is, so I'm
very
sorry.
difficult, yeah. It's difficult to express our emotions.
Yeah.
And I couldn't even remember the dates and days. What day is day? What day is day? Because I'm still blank.
Yeah.
I so much traumatized. Hearing all the firing and the burning, we see with our own eyes the smoke. It's just a few meters away from us, and they said they were going to attack where we are in. The CRPF came, so they said, keep silent, keep all the lights off, just pretend that you are not here. And these kids, he wants to play. When there's so many people, he's so excited, no? So I have to cover his mouth, sit beside her, and just near the toilet so that he will not disturb other people.
Yeah.
So it's difficult for mothers, especially.
Yeah. For mothers. Yeah.
Chochanpur,
Okay.
Manipur, Chochanpur. Yeah.
And how old are you? Age?
28 years old.
28?
Yeah.
Okay.
I was working in government as in one post. Yeah. I was working there, and then the situation outbreak happens, so that compels us whether we like it or not. And the situation that situation compel us to leave. Otherwise, at the time it's very difficult to say. So that because of that, we left it in Fall City. I left in Fall on that 6th of May.
And you've come here with your family, or it's just
No,
you?
alone.
Alone.
Actually, I was staying all alone in Infal, renting house as I was working in that Infal city. So I was alone, but my family was back there in Chochanpur district.
Your family is still
yeah. Right now they're fine, but so to say, if the situation goes on like this, if there was fails to protection from the security side, who knows? We can't decide yet. So far. Who knows, Chochanpur might also be attacked if the situation goes on like this. We can't decide. Not only Chochanpur, most of the tribal place right now they settle. We can't say, so I can't guarantee they were safe. But so for now, they are still safe. But if the government or any other security leg in control, who knows, they might suffer like us as well. If I go back, I have to. Right now, our future. It was very, in economic term. There was no place to work. There will be shortage of economic situation. So right now, even though I go back, it will be very hard. So the decision right now, what I'm planning is, if I stay here, I can feed my parents who are staying back there in some way, in somehow, and like working in a job or maybe in private or maybe in whatever. So right now, what I'm planning is staying here for a while and support my parents back there financially. That is what I'm planning right now.
My name is Mang. I'm one of the coordinators of this relief home. And our responsibility is to take care of our people who are internally displaced because of the recent atrocities that had happened in Manipur. We have different tribes coming together here. So just to give you a little bit background of what had happened was because of the violence that erupted. I think by now most of us might be aware what's going on in Manipur. So we and few other leaders, we volunteer ourselves to somehow cater towards the needs of our people who fled to New Delhi especially from Imphal, the capital city of Manipur, because of this violent crisis. We have, I think, almost 5 to 6 different tribes living here. So we have Kukis, we have the Paites, we have the Vaipes, we have the Zo. It's not just one tribe, though the media portray as Kukis, but it comprises of so many other tribes together. So. But the best part is that though we speak our own dialects, everyone can understand,
So what is the plan now like for most people? Like, what does the future look like?
Oh, that's a good question. So we have short-term and long-term plans. Our short-term plan is to use this as a place of transitioning. It's like a transit place, because we know that it will be impossible for the EFI to let us stay here forever.
Yeah.
So they allow us to stay perhaps for about a month and a half to 2 months. We don't blame all the Métis. Not all the Métis are bad necessarily, but there are some radicals who are causing all this violence. We're sad to see that despite what government is projecting to the outside world. Yesterday, there was an incident that had happened, and the church was burned yesterday itself, during broad daylight actually. So we want to appeal to the right-thinking citizen of India that, let's respect each other's community, let's respect each other place of worship, let's respect each other's tribes, our religion, but also our own space, our own rights. And we just want to appeal that the perpetrator for all this should be booked and they should face justice, and they should be held accountable.
As we have seen from our interviews, the mass violence in Manipur has not only left many refugees homeless, but has also caused severe mental trauma. Until the situation in Manipur subsides, the future of these refugees is a big question mark. We have with us camera person Madan Lal, and I'm your reporter Ramanika Roy, and you're watching The Mojo Story.
It's great to see you here. Thank you for watching our work. If you haven't subscribed yet, don't forget to click the bell icon and subscribe to Mojo Story and support independent, robust journalism.